Hey folks, I'm Tankerl. We're in New York City, and this is the Razer, both of them, for 2023, Razer Plus and Razer. So let's start with the Razer Plus 2023. As you can see, the big deal here is the massive front display, right? And there are cutouts for the cameras right in this display, so you can actually use the entire front of it for your use. For example, you can go into your apps right here and run Gmail. And if you hold this here, you can actually make it full screen and toggle back if the cameras are in your way. So now this is using the buttons in Android, but if you were using gestures, you'd actually use the pill here. You'd hold the pill down. But anyway, as you can see, you really can see all of your Gmail and work on it. Somebody ordered something on Amazon. This is not my phone, guys. So yeah, and look, if you want, you can navigate through emails just as you normally would. And of course, you can tap here and see all your opened apps and dismiss them. So that's what they call the home screen. And of course, you have your apps here, you have your favorite contacts, and some widgets with notifications and a bunch of other stuff. So that's like a big deal here, is this massive 3.6-inch, 144 hertz display. It's OLED, it's bright, as you can see. We're outside right now and it looks fine. And it basically lets you use the phone from the front before you even open it. So that's a big deal, and I'm excited about it. Let's talk about these cameras over here. You have a flash here and a dual camera setup. These are essentially your rear cameras, but because they're in the front, right, you can do things like this. You can actually fire up the camera and see, what's in front of you and take a photo of it, which is fantastic. So now, these cameras, 12 megapixel, f/1.5, which is really quite insane when you think about it. That's a really fast lens. It's got dual pixel autofocus and OIS and 1.4 micron pixels, so very good in low light. Now you're going to say, oh, it's not a 50 or a 48, but you know what? Considering how thin this phone is, this is the thinnest folding flip phone in the world right now. 15.1 millimeters. Apparently it's slightly thinner than Samsung's. And then, of course, as you can see, it's perfectly flat. There's no gap here like Samsung. So the 13 megapixel ultra wide here is both an ultra wide and a macro. It's got autofocus, so it turns into a macro camera, f/2.2, and I believe it's like the smallest pixel size, but still, it's a decent camera setup. It's good for your ultra wides, especially for ultra wide selfies, right? Let's show you the back. And this is glass, but it's the same kind of finish that we saw on the Moto Edge Plus 2023. It's like a matte, silky smooth finish. And walking through the edges here, you can see the various connectors and ports. This has dual speakers and 3 microphones total. Here you go. The hinge does not have a logo, which is really interesting because you'd think that they would have given us something. Here's a volume rocker and power lock key for you guys. So then you open it up and magic happens. You get this massive 6.9-inch screen. This is a 165 hertz OLED display. It's got 1080p resolution, and it's very bright as well because we're outside in daylight right now and it's perfectly readable. And as you notice, there's very little crease here. The crease is barely noticeable because it closes as a teardrop, unlike Samsung's design. So again, that's why it's flat and there's no gap here. So showing you again, here we go. There's your front screen. This is a really nice display, about as state of the art. It's kind of crazy that this display is 165 hertz and the front display is 144 hertz. Kind of overkill. We don't really need that, but at the same time, it's nice that they were able to do it. This is an LTPO display, so variable refresh rate. And again, a pretty decent resolution. By the way, the front display is 1056 by 1066, and that's pretty decent for a front display like that. Definitely the biggest one and the most dense one for sure. That's basically the gist of it. Now you're going to say, what's under the hood? All of this is nice, but if this thing doesn't have a good chipset, then who cares? Well, Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 on board here. 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, LPDDR5 and UFS 3.1 storage. So you're not sacrificing much. There's no micro SD for storage, but as you can see, dual speakers. You can actually see the earpiece up here. It serves as a second speaker. And there's a 32 megapixel front camera here. Nothing spectacular, but it does 4:1 pixel binning. Now, in terms of battery life is going to be important on a phone like this because you have 2 displays. But here's the thing. You can use it on the front display most of the time. So basically, they're counting on the fact that you might be using it more on the front screen. And so you're getting 3,800 milliamp hours, which is not ideal, right? 40 something would be nice, but you're gonna have to deal with that. 30-watt charging though, 5-watt wireless charging. So there's no reverse wireless charging here because 5 watts is not strong enough for that. But at least you can put it down on a charging pad and get some wireless charging if you need to. So, you know, honestly, this is a pretty awesome package. It ticks all the boxes and gives you this incredible real estate in the front, which I think is a really big deal. And here's the best part. It comes in a bunch of colors. So I don't have all the colors here, but this is a magenta version that's available to T-Mobile only. And of course, Moto as well, directly if you want to buy it unlocked. But it's vegan leather in the back. You see the difference? Yeah. So it's a little thicker because of that, but you won't feel the difference in your hand at all. And of course, I'll put it down so you can have a look here. It's just as gorgeous, but you get this beautiful, shiny edge. Now, you know, I didn't mention this, but all of this is metal and glass other than this vegan leather on this model. And Gorilla Glass Victus for the glass. Even on this black one here in the back, it's Gorilla Glass Victus. Of course, it's vegan leather. But yeah, this is a really, really stylish. And if you remember the Razer, the pink Razer from back in the day, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, this is not the only Razer we're getting. We're also getting another Razer right here. And you're going to say, well, it doesn't look very different until I show you the front. And you can see there's a much smaller display. The time, but as you can see, it does have basic widgets and similar cameras. This main camera is 64 megapixel instead of 12, but smaller pixels. Still has OIS and all the good stuff. So the Moto Razr Plus is going to be available for pre-order on June 16th and for sale everywhere on June 23rd. But we don't know availability yet for the Moto Razr, the basic one. It's coming soon at some point, but later. This is $999.99, $1,000. But there's also another difference that you should be aware of. Other than the screen and the front camera that I mentioned, you have a different chip. This is Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, as I mentioned, but this is Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. So we don't know the pricing, but my bet is this. Somewhere around $799, maybe less. I hope they can reach that point because at this price, it's going to be a major, major plus. So also comes in multiple colors. This is 2 of them. There's also a green, kind of a dark forest green. Very beautiful. So yeah, so that's basically what these 2 look like. And again, these are very stylish in their own right. Also metal and glass, and of course, vegan leather. This is Gorilla Glass of some kind. But yeah, I think this is really good because for those of you who don't want to run apps on the front screen, I don't really care, just want notifications, this is definitely going to be a great phone. So that's it, folks. A quick look at every almost colored Razer and Razer Plus 2023 to get your hands on. Pretty exciting stuff. I'm stoked, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge folding phone person, but I love the flip form factor and the fact that these are coming out and that Moto is bringing so much more goodness to something that Samsung has been owning for a while now for the same price, you know, with the Plus, and then bringing a cheaper, hopefully, version with the other one is good news. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, click the little notification bell, and comment below. Would you buy these phones? Which one would you buy if you did? Remember, you get the nice pure Moto software, so this might make a difference for you.